Well, hello, SNHU 107 students, and welcome to week 7 here in your SNHU 107 course and in the SNHU 107 learning community. This quick video is going to walk you through what is due for Module 7 and how to find it. Y'all, we are in the last 2 weeks of the class. Oh my gosh, it has gone so quickly. So just real quick, what do you have due here for Module 7? So as always, you can click on Course Menu, Learning Modules, scroll down to the week you're looking for. We're on Module 7. A couple of things I want to point out. This week, you will see in your Module 7 information that you have what is considered a non-graded discussion, okay? So this is here as a space for you to ask questions, share tips for writing your final project, or discussing any like helpful time management or tips or tricks or resources that you use that you really enjoyed here at SNHU or here during this term. It is not a place that you post any pieces or parts of your final project. And it's also not required. Like, you don't have to do anything if you don't want to. Sometimes students like to post a general question here if they're stuck on something on the project. Or sometimes students like to share like what they've thought of the term and how it's going, or like resources that just helped them be successful, or maybe a way that they kind of are working on putting this project together. Again, this 7-1 student discussion for Module 7, it's not graded. It's just there as an opportunity for feedback and to ask questions. Okay, so you don't have to do anything if you don't want to do anything at all. The big assignment for this week and something you've been working towards all term long is that 7-2 project submission. You're creating an academic success plan. A couple of things I want to point out. One, there's a template again for this assignment, and you have an example. Okay, so let's click on guidelines and rubric, and when you do that, as always, it pulls up an overview of the assignment and directions. So you will see it will list all the questions that you're going to be answering, and as you scroll down, a couple of things I want to point out. One, like I said, you have an academic success plan template. Click the blue, gets you to where you want to go. It's going to open up a Word document that is the template. Sometimes you have to click Enable Editing. Again, when you have a template, you can type directly in it. Keep in mind that sometimes with templates, we get in form filling out mode. You want to make sure that you are writing in complete sentences and providing enough information that your thoughts are clearly described. Okay, use examples, give information. This is the template you'll be working within. You open it up and you can type right in it. But the other thing I wanted to point out is underneath this supporting materials, you will see a document that says project template. Y'all, it's the same document as up here as above. Even though they have two different names, don't let that confuse you. It's the same document, okay? But the other thing I wanted to show you is you have a project example. When you click on project example, it's going to give you a filled out, completed final project, okay? Now, couple of words of advice. One, do not copy any pieces or parts of this project. It'll flag an academic integrity issue faster than you can even take a deep breath, okay? So don't do it. But this is here to help give you a solid foundation or a framework of what your completed final project academic success plan should look like, okay? So it's the first thing I wanted to point out. The second thing I wanted to point out is that you will notice as you start reviewing the questions for the final project that a lot of them sound super similar to assignments you've had previously in SNHU 107. Yes, you are correct. We have talked about all of these concepts previously in our course and on some of your different assignments. However, they are not identical questions. So a lot of students are like, well, can I just copy and paste from week 2 into over here? Double check, make sure you review what the question is asking for, because you'll be able to use very similar information, but the questions are different. So always make sure you're answering them completely, okay? With the exception, there is a section on your final project. I'm going to just highlight it real quick right now, where you will list your personal missions, that personal academic mission statement, and those 3 goals you wrote back in week 4. I want to center in on this because if in week 4, you got 100%, no changes needed on your personal academic mission statement and those 3 short-term goals, these 2 spots, question 6 and 7, is where you can copy and paste over. Just double check that you copied and pasted everything over, because sometimes students forget a goal or part of their mission statement, okay? Everything else, the questions are not exactly alike. So let's roll through it just real quick. If you want more detailed information, go check out the week 6 webinar, because I give a much more detailed overview of this project. But first and foremost, you are going to want to identify a problem-solving technique or a method you've used in a previous situation and explain how it helped you. How might problem-solving methods be different in diverse cultures or fields of work? And how can effective problem-solving help you in your academic journey? So you'll notice that question 1 has 3 parts. So this student chose to use bullet points. You don't have to use bullet points. You can write it in essay format if you want. You can use number. What matters is that you're answering the question and providing enough information, details, or examples. Okay, so you'll see that this student says they picked a problem-solving method. It was trial and error, and they explained it. And then they talked a little bit about problem solving looking different in different fields of work. They talked about the medical field as an example. And then why does effective problem solving help them? Okay. Question 2, identify your learning style and explain how knowing or learning about your learning style helps support your success through this term. So remember way back at the beginning of the term, we learned about you identified your learning style or learning styles. Some of you, like me, I'm a few different learning styles. So you want to state what that learning style or learning styles are. So this student said, my learning style is the read-write learning style. And then they explained like how knowing about it helped them. Okay. Question 3, identify which of the 5 successful habits of an SNHU student have been most helpful for you throughout this course and explain how those habits have helped you. So notice it says habits. So you want to make sure you identify at least 2, okay? Go back to earlier in the term where there was that infographic on the 5 successful habits of an SNHU student. Take a look at them. This student picked logging in early and reaching out for help and then explained why. Okay, question 4, explain how you'll stay on track in your courses and overcome interruptions that may impact your schedule. So this student wants to make a to-do list for each week. They also want to work really closely with their advisor and instructor, and they want to have their assignments due by Friday. And then they talked a little bit about their biggest interruptions being their kiddos. So remember, a question like number 4 has multiple pieces and parts. So always make sure you're answering them, okay? Question 5, choose 2 SNHU resources. As a reminder, departments and resources that are part of the university, and 2 social support. So that's outside the university. That'll help most with achieving your mission and goals and also help you prioritize your time. So you're going to pick them and share them, but then you're also going to share why these resources and social supports are key for your success. So you'll notice real quick, this student picked their instructor and academic support and explained why. And then for social supports, they picked their partner and their best friend and explained why. Okay. Again, question 6 and 7. This is where back in module 4, week 4, when you wrote your personal academic mission statement and those 3 short-term goals, if you have no edits to be made, 100% rockstar score, you can copy and paste your mission right here. And then number 6, and then you can copy and paste those 3 short-term goals underneath number 7. If you were missing information on either one of those academic mission statements or any of your goals, or you need to add more detail, whatever it might have been, make the changes and then put the answers under 6 and 7. For example, when I grade this assignment, I pull up my students week 4 if I knew that they had edits to make or I recommended changes or edits, and I pull up their final project and I compare the 2. Okay. Question 8, describe the importance of setting goals on your academic journey. So why do you think setting goals is important? Question 9, explain how you're going to stay motivated and achieve your goals and mission statement based on what you have learned in SNHU 107. So this student just shared, like, I am my own biggest motivator. Like, I need a to-do list. I know I need to use my resources. And then like they're going to do a small reward system, like going out to eat with family to celebrate for every class they pass. Cool, right? Question 10, explain why an awareness of diversity is beneficial when you are giving and receiving feedback or collaborating with others. Share your thoughts here. Question 11, explain why it's important to take ownership, be vulnerable, ask for help, and have an open mind to achieve goals. Okay? Share your thoughts. And then question 12, explain what your biggest takeaway was from this course. So what is the biggest thing that you learned? This student said here in SNHU 107, their biggest takeaway was that SNHU wants them to succeed on their academic journey. There's a lot of resources and they feel so much more comfortable utilizing those resources. Again, this is an example of what your final project, that academic success plan, should look like. Do not copy any pieces or parts. Yes, you might have some wording that sounds similar, but just know that this is here to give you a foundation for how this assignment should be put together and what it should look like. So just really quick, I want to remind you that when you pull up that Module 7 Academic Success Plan, the template is right here and right here. Same, either one you use. And then right here is that project example. This project is due by Sunday of Module 7, Week 7, or before, as convenient for your schedule. Y'all, this is one of my most favorite assignments, and many of your faculty will echo my same feelings. This is one of our favorite assignments. It just showcases you connecting the dots and putting everything together. We've talked about all of these topics before. You're just able to put it together in one cohesive document, and it's really kind of like a little roadmap for your success. So be yourself. Answer the questions, give the details, give the information, and get it submitted for your success. Have an amazing week 7. Don't forget to use your resources if you get stuck or have questions. It's a great time to utilize that academic support. Click on academic support, click on written feedback, submit your draft, especially for your final project. Gives you another set of thoughts just to make sure you feel really confident turning that in case there's any edits you need to make. And just remember, you're going to be amazing. We can't wait to read them, and you got this.